What is up, everybody? And you, SIKSLAYER. I haven't talked to you. Wow, it's been a while.
It's been a minute.
I think since our last show we did together, maybe a week or so ago.
Yeah, something like that. But even before
then,
bro, I missed the theme song, man. You know, Ed Baggin. I always love that theme song.
I need to update it though. I need to put some new videos.
Oh no. Or you can update it. Don't change the song though. Don't change the song.
Yeah. And I've been disconnected a little bit, man. It's just a lot of work. We're planning our California trip, and it's just been nuts. And kids didn't have any activities tonight, so like, let me do something before I leave because I want to go. I don't want to go and like did nothing for like 2 or 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's a very parental thing to say. You know, activities.
Yeah, activities.
That's a word you don't use in context for yourself, but as soon as you have children, boop.
Yeah, kids activities. Yeah, kid activities. You gotta to do. I mean, some of us rather not have them, but
hey, man, kids, man.
The other person wants to have it for them to that way they can learn responsibility, confidence, right. And all the good stuff that kids need to learn early on so they can become better social people.
It's important.
So we'll get into the Sony stuff in a little bit, but give it up for Game Pass, man. Game Pass is going to be busy this month. October just started. I don't know if anything came out today as Tuesday, because usually games come out on Tuesdays. But good old Warrior 64 coming to Game Pass. Chivalry 2, which is today, I guess. Medieval Dynasty, Walking Dead Season 1, Season 2, Costume Conquest later this month, Evil, Dyson Sphere Program, Scorn is the one I'm waiting for. And unfortunately, I'll be out of town.
And that's today?
No, that'll be on the 14th.
14th. Okay.
So I won't be here when Scorn comes out, but I'll bet you anything Sunday morning I'll be playing it. Because I'll be back by then. I'll be back Saturday afternoon, and
I think I'm gonna stream that game unless it's less than 50 gigs. I'm gonna
and then not even 4 days later, or about 4 days later, the new Plague game comes out.
Ooh,
dude, that's. I mean, I don't know about the other games. I never even heard of them, but Scorn and Plague, man, those are the two I'm waiting for. Those are the ones I want to play, and that itself, I mean, you could just say one title makes the service valuable. It gives you value for gaming. One of those games already pays for your month. You're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games.
Yeah, at least one of those games you would have bought.
At least one of these, you'll be into it.
Yeah, for
at least one of these will pique your interest. I know Scorn is for me because I've been talking about it since it came out.
That's been since before the system was out. We was hoping that was one of the the premier games on the Xbox. So definitely big deal for us.
So Xbox big deal for me. That's right. So that's why I'm waiting for it, but I won't be able to play it until maybe a day or two after.
But there's the cloud.
I didn't get the cloud. Yeah, I could play the cloud. I'll have my iPad or my tablet, my Samsung one, with me to play if I wanted to. But it's gonna be packing day too, man. It's like, and we're gonna be at Legoland.
Oh, bro, you don't even want time.
I'm just like,
and by the time you're done, you just want to sit back and pass
sleep.
Yeah.
So give it up for Game Pass. I mean, they give you here, just like what the banner says, something for everyone. And if you can't find one game that's for you,
maybe you shouldn't be playing games.
You shouldn't be playing games then. Yeah, you shouldn't be playing games at all.
Other than you're a PlayStation fanboy. That's the only way you're gonna find nothing worth playing.
Yeah. And then Grounded came out recently and is getting pretty good. For what it is, this is not bad.
Already over 10 million people playing it.
People are playing it. It's fun. It was fun before it got the final release, but I haven't touched it yet. I do want to get into it. I don't like starting new games before I go on a trip because what's the point? I'm going to lose, what I learned about the game. If I try it before going and then coming back,
you'll forget what you're doing. Yeah,
you just forget the controls. It's like I'll just wait until I come back. So I'll add that to my list again. I did play the preview. And I was kind of stuck at a certain point, so I kind of gave up on it. It was like, I'll just wait for the final release. So, Doctor in the house, as always. in the chat.
What up,
So
Vodka?
good for Grounded, 82 score, because people, they love their scores. They gotta go by these Metacritic scores, so I gotta bring it up. I mean, I don't care about scores. I'll play it either way. So, but people go out there and get off on score. Oh, it's an 80. Oh, 80.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, the average scores for the Xbox.
They got a 90. My God, two of them.
These first party games. The scores. Everybody's been not everybody, but the Xbox fanboys and the PlayStation fanboys going back and forth about who's got the scores, blah blah blah. That's always important. But what's most important is a great game, because there are many games that you could say weren't all that in the beginning, became something great. Look at Rainbow Six. It had performance issues, but it also had
the perfect example. Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. The way it grew and transformed in front of everybody's eyes.
Yes.
Realist, what up, homie?
I mean, I'll agree with many of the people who complained about Sea of Thieves when it first came out. It didn't have that much content. I was falling asleep. The only time when I was having fun with it was either when I was playing with my son, because it's a group thing, or something with some randos online. But if I went out there by myself, it's like I'll start falling asleep. I can't do it.
I'm not really into it because it's pirates, and if it's ninjas versus pirates, I'm camp ninjas. You feel me? And that's the only reason I'm not playing the game, or didn't even try it. It's I can't play everything. I'm not interested in everything. Not everything's for everybody. No. But it's good to see a fun game getting its due, its recognition, and finding deserving success.
And Grounded, I mean, it's like the setting. It's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. How can you hate that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
But Vodka said free to play Overwatch 2 launch. People crash the servers. I can only imagine. That means it was very popular.
Well, it's free to play. Everybody's going to jump on.
But it's very popular. But people crash the servers. Why we need midnight? What I don't understand. Okay, what do you mean by that? This is why we need midnight releases. What do the servers have crashed anyway? The servers would have been overloaded anyway. I feel if they were gonna be, and they were gonna be.
Is Overwatch 2 now? It won't have a paid release, just an Overwatch 2 free to play.
I don't follow how that goes, but it's only free to play for what I've seen.
Huh.
But I just don't understand what he means by midnight releases. It's not that I'm debating what
he may have to jump on and explain himself. You hear that, Doctor?
Yeah, what is?
Hey, maybe he will.
I'm trying to make sense of it too. We need midnight releases.
Everyone gets
get rid of free to play.
No, he's saying that
they should have started. They should have started at midnight.
But everybody's just gonna hop on.
Then everybody would have jumped on at midnight.
Yeah, and they would have crashed it then, because it seems to be that it was just the amount of people or whatnot.
Yeah,
that's what it seems to have been. But
these days are expected. Why people get upset? Because it's you have to expect it these days. Don't you?
You have to expect it, but doesn't mean we should be expecting. We shouldn't be expecting.
No, we shouldn't. But
to not work.
But the track record of every online game that's been out there since I don't know what.
But not to be surprised. I wouldn't say to be surprised though.
How do you prepare for something that you've never done before?
Yeah, and even if you've done it before,
they're launching a new game free to public, and it seems like they never anticipate more than what they need.
Yeah.
Eventually they get it all taken care of. I don't know, kind of.
And it's all platforms, right? Even mobile.
Yeah, they all crash.
Everything.
Everything.
I think it's on Switch too.
Yeah, remember it's crossplay. Okay. So yeah, the whole thing went down.
Well, maybe that's the problem. They included the Switch.
Womp womp.
With their sorry ass network.
Yeah. But it's on Microsoft.
I'm
now,
interested
so
to
I don't
see
know
what they do next.
Oh yeah. I'm waiting for that. It's like, it's because the deal with Activision. This is Microsoft's fault that no one can get on. That's what I'm waiting for, unless it's already been done.
Oh man, screw those people. I'm talking about like if Nintendo comes out with trash hardware again, that's what I want to see.
It's like Apple and the USB-C adapters, They'll just make every phone, wireless charging only. That's what they'll do.
Well, I think they got in Europe. They can't bring those lights.
Yeah,
they have to
exactly.
be C's now.
Yeah, they have to be USB-C by 2024. So you can. Everybody's thinking Apple's going to do the smart ass thing of just making them, wireless charging only, because they've been pushing on the
But what? Okay,
But they
what
both
is
like
their
their name.
beef against being standard with everybody else? They just want to be different and sell their cables at a high price.
They
They
want
claim-
to be the ones to sell their cables.
Yeah. And to even make a third-party cable that's compatible, you still have to pay Apple, to get that stamp on your ass. So, and if you use a third-party one, even if it works, I think a warning will pop up in your phone saying, "Oh, blah blah blah, something about the cable."
Really?
Or at least you used to back in the day on my older. iPhone.
Or
I don't know
it'll
about
charge
nowadays.
super slow for safety reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to be the ones that sell you the $30 charging cables.
Yeah.
So that's why they do that. So just
it's
like
good-
they got rid of the headphone jacks just to sell you earbuds or whatever they call them.
And then now they're taking out the SIM card.
then everybody
slot,
else
and we
did
find
it.
out. Right, and then we find out the SIM card slot's gone. And then
No,
there's
is it
piece of
really?
yeah, it's eSIMs now.
So
but
now they're
they
doing
found out
eSIM
that-
only.
But now they found out that space is just being used up by a piece of plastic because this is only in America. Outside of America, they have SIMs. They still have SIM slots.
Yeah.
But that was the same excuse they gave for the headphone jack that they needed that space, right?
Yeah.
But they did it to their iPads as well.
And somebody probably cracked it open like you're lying.
Yep, that's literally what happened. They cracked it open and found a little like piece of plastic spacer, but that's holding up the space. Instead of making the
crazy.
battery bigger or something else to use up that room, they put a little piece of plastic in there.
That's so dumb. Why is America
That sounds,
dumb?
that's too much like right.
It sounds like Apple for you.
We're so backward or however you say
And then
it.
people will brag about, just like on PlayStation, they love to brag that they paid for, quality.
Yeah.
By paying for $70. But there you go. I mean, it's all related. It's just as silly in that same way. I know a lot of people, hear me bag on Apple for stuff like that. It's not cool when Sony does it. It's not cool when Apple does it. And if Microsoft, is not to do anything like that, I would crap on them too. I give a lot of crap to Samsung when Apple finally took out the chargers off their box. Then Samsung was advertising all the fact that they still had this headphone jack until the next year's phones. They didn't have that shit either.
Well, we're all kind of used to it now with the no jack.
Yeah.
So. Everybody throw a fit, and look where we are now. Everybody's like walking around with their Bluetooth, talking to people like, "Hey, how you doing?" and bumping into people.
So I still got my Note 9 with a headphone jack that I don't use. I do use Bluetooth, but at least I have it there if I need it.
Hey, I picked up an iPod Touch before they stopped the production,
Right.
and I use it when I mow the lawn to hear music because I don't want to keep my good phone in my pocket. I just use the iPod, and then my wireless goes all around the house anyway. So
Yeah. That's what I do with my Windows phone. I would use that as my primary
man, I love the
content.
Windows phone. I still got one.
Oh man, it hurts. It hurts this thing.
I love it.
about
I love
that.
it. What are you doing talking about phones, man? We're talking about gaming.
Yeah, I would just bring that up to show, these companies, they're all the same when it comes to that. It's all the same mentality. People will make excuses for, the bullshit no matter what.
We know, since this is a very friendly channel when it comes to PlayStation, we got to talk about PlayStation stuff. And that is about that new Stars program that, I didn't know it was talked about back in July. But it seems like it's just all recent talk because everybody's making fun about you're going to get priority customer service if you pay, or not you pay, but you buy a lot of junk. But kind of looks like a spin-off version of the quests that Xbox has, where you get some points. Because it looks like you get to buy stuff. I don't know if you guys looked into it.
They give you points to buy stuff from the PlayStation store.
Right. And that's like
Microsoft.
Microsoft with the rewards points. You can convert those points into gift cards if you wanted to, which I do all the time. Or pay for your PS Plus membership, which I also do. I just redeem a whole year's worth of points for a year's worth of Game Pass Ultimate. So now I'm good until next October.
Nice. That's what I use my points on is Game Pass Ultimate. I don't use it for anything else.
Dude, I haven't paid
for Xbox Live. I haven't paid for Xbox Live even before that because of the rewards thing. This was a Microsoft wide thing, and when they integrated into Xbox, that took it to a new level. And so that's similar to this, but this is a bit more than just all that.
So that's good that they got it. I mean, they need something like this.
Yeah.
Not to say compete with Xbox with their quests or their rewards program, but it gives them a little extra incentives to the Sony fans to say, yeah, the more I play, the more points I get, or the stars I get, whatever they want to call it, and convert those stars into currency, digital currency. You buy yourself a game, you buy yourself some kind of, I don't know, skin. You can pay your
the PlayStation headphones or the monitors itself.
See, yeah, you get to. I mean, it's just whatever the catalog has. You can buy stuff and use those stars or those points that they use that you earn to pay it off. So, hey,
and another reason on top of that too is it keeps you in their ecosystem because you're rewarded for being with them. The same with Microsoft. I have motivation to stay there because really Game Pass, as I explained, I pay for Game Pass because being on the platform earns me enough points to earn those. I don't even have to work hard to earn those points that I get, that I redeem for my Game Pass. So
did you finally install that automator that I gave you?
Yeah, plead the fifth. Wink, wink. Yeah, boy.
I still use it.
Yeah,
every single day.
It works. Make sure. Yeah, it's not effort. It was the only effort it did was installing it and putting my valid info for it to be able to do its thing.
What'd I tell you?
Hey, I just got to remember every day to do the dailies.
Yeah. I mean, it does the searches for you, but the dailies you got to do yourself.
Yeah.
So,
but that's cool.
So cool, PlayStation. You get a thumbs up for me for this effort in PlayStation Stars, and you get priority customer service.
No, that's the thing. That's the drama about it right there. But I don't really think that's a big negative thing because this is what I was explaining. Before the show started. Like, okay, the example that comes to mind the most is GameStop, right? And I remember years ago, going there for something, and the guy didn't have to do what I asked, right? It was like he was doing me a favor, right? Mm-hmm. But when even before he considered doing it, he literally said, "Hold on a second, let me look at your account and see, what you." And he was like, "Oh, all right, you've been buying." Right. Look, I was basically a regular customer. I'd been spending money, particularly at that GameStop in general, particularly that one. So that was the reason for him for going ahead and doing the thing I had asked him for, that little hookup that I asked him. It was nothing crazy. It was just like I wanted to pre-order something or to get my pre-order when I was supposed to, even though I was in that first group or whatever. And long story short, basically he had to hook me up. Basically it was a hookup. 1 second.
Uh-oh. Somebody got spotted. So you pay for a real Game Pass, right, Realist? You don't use any points. You just straight up pay.
Yeah, I get my stuff on the Neba. So like when I see it, the lowest I've seen is like 25 for 3 months, or it'll be 30 for 3 months.
Yeah.
So those points, man, I got enough to probably buy a Series S. It's a few 100,000 points.
Wow.
But like for a while, I didn't even know what they were for.
Yeah.
Until I got on Twitter and saw people like saying, "Oh, how about this?" I just thought it was just something like
bragging rights,
gamer
like a
score
gamer score.
Or something. Yeah, like secondary gamer score.
Nah.
Because I didn't. And then I was in a party. A guy was like, "No, I don't pay for Xbox Gold. I don't pay for Xbox Live." And I was like, "How? How do you do that?" And then he told me, you go redeem those points for gift cards.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's as long as I can get it for cheap, and then they have they sell a year. The year is like 110, 100. Just depends on So I mean, if I can find it for cheap, I mean, I'm paid up for another 2 years, so I'm not looking right now.
The holidays are coming up, and if you're not a big shopper, do realize that especially Amazon will have their buy 3 months, get 3 months free.
Mm-hmm.
So you get 2 codes.
Buy,
each of them has 3 months. Dude, buy 2 sets, 3 sets, get yourself at least 2 years worth of for the price of 1 year of Ultimate. And I've done that before where I was like, oh, I'm getting this. I mean, how can I pass up 3 free months, you know?
So it's like, it's still $60 or $45, but you get 3 months free.
Yep. You get double basically. Yeah. But the thing I was trying to say before, but I was interrupted by the phone call, is like a lot of people are talking about the aspect of if you buy a certain number of games and you earn a certain tier of trophies. So I don't even think it was the base tier. It's not the bronze. I think it's like the silver. You have to have like 100 and something. I could be wrong on the numbers. Basically, you have to buy a certain number of digital games, which I think is 4, and then you have to earn a certain number of
full price,
right? At full price, and then
70.
You get priority in the support, right? In the queue. But the thing about that is, okay, like once again, this is something that is like receipts for something I knew that Sony did, but it wasn't just something that Sony did. Is why I bring up the GameStop example. This is something I would imagine all these companies do. You go to a store, you know,
Best Buy does it.
Yeah, Best Buy, they check to see if you're a regular customer, if you're deserving of the, you know, this special treatment.
Yeah.
You know, and when you call about, you know, you need to return something, you know, they're gonna check. You know, number one, after they check if you're even worthy to get it. Let's say you're still within the warranty period or whatnot. The next thing they're gonna check is how often you return stuff. Is it if you're a habitual line stepper when it comes to returning stuff? Do they need to tell you, no, they can't because you do this a lot and you're just trying to take advantage of them, you know, stuff like that. They're gonna look and see if you're worth it, worth giving you whatever benefit it is. So the fact that this is out there really just received for something that I figured all companies did, you know, I know a lot of people using the console war arguments like this is some kind of negative, but like, let's be honest, they all do it.
Well, I guess the way they presented it, you know,
that's the problem.
It's the way they presented it. They really didn't focus on the rewards part where like, oh, you can cash them in for, you know, games or anything that's in the catalog. They said, oh, you get priority customer service. I'm like, what? You're telling me that I got to do all this other stuff just so I can get proper customer service? Like, come on. And that's where I think that's where everybody started focusing on, is that
it's not even proper customer service. It's still the same trash service. But it's like
you just get it first.
Like you guys, exactly. Like some of you guys, you get trash service first. But like I was trying to tell you, right? Earlier, it was on Twitter. Like y'all don't really like, I guess I'm not in your algorithm. But like when I was saying that the PlayStation is a premium console, some people thought it was funny. Some people got it. PlayStation is trying to position their console as a premium brand, like Apple, right? Apple will drop an overpriced phone every year, and people will line up to get it, and then eventually people stop complaining. So all this is a loyalty program.
Yeah,
that's all. It's all it is, right? And Sony has to find something to validate it. They're trying to position that console as a premium. Basically, you're like a Platinum Plus PlayStation user, and you get, you know, our service is trash, but, you know, we're not going to say that. But whether it's good or whether it's bad, you get dibs. Yeah. Right? And you get dibs because you
get dibs to our trash.
Because you are a great PlayStation customer. You patronize us, and you earn loyalty rewards points. Because I saw somebody say nobody's service is good. Everybody said, no, Xbox service is great. How do I know? When my Xbox went down, I spoke with an American, and I got a console back in 4 days. I had to call PlayStation 3 times to fix my DualSense that broke in 2 weeks. Oof. So if they can manage to position this as a premium console, that means that the Xbox and the Nintendo are peasant consoles. So do not bring any complaints in comparison to, meaning like our games are 70 and they're keeping theirs at 60. We don't want to hear that because we are a premium brand. When you come to PlayStation, you get an elevated experience. That's how they're positioning it. So these are like the basic steps. When you go to any nice hotel or you go rent a car, or hell, y'all go to, I know you go to Astroworld. You get their little membership, you get to skip in line. You get refills.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, all Sony has is one and done games to offer and import service. But eventually, maybe they'll get a one of those free to play service games to hit, and they're able to offer that something that goes with those games to their customers. But right now, all it is the service. You know, you get to talk to somebody who barely understands English and might go to sleep on the phone. Yo, that dude went to sleep on the phone. He said, I said, yo, you there? No, I'm sorry. I'm looking.
Looking. No, I never had that happen to me, man. Look what Doctor said about those points. Points are for Black Desert and Naraka Blade Point. Back in the day, my dumbass used them for those contests.
Wow. Well, the contest, that's a waste of points. They basically put there for you to waste your points on, basically.
Yeah.
Don't ever expect to win. That's why I don't play the lottery either.
all this whole point system is part of a bigger scheme, right? It's part of a bigger scheme. I don't know why I thought I was just speaking in my headphones just now. I forgot I was on the mic. Okay, so look, it's part of a bigger scheme. They're trying to grow Bing. They're trying to get people into their other services. If they can get you trying to it doesn't matter which one that you're in. They want you to be integrated into their ecosystem somehow, whether it's through Xbox, cloud, for business.
Do they have much of an ecosystem?
Yeah. Every year, search is growing. Although Google is a monster. I think they have an insurmountable lead when it comes to search. What's the other one for the jobs? LinkedIn grows every year.
Yep, that's major. You in certain fields, it's LinkedIn or nothing else. If you're not on LinkedIn, you're completely unknown.
And all of that stuff's tied in together.
Yeah.
So if they can get you working for points for video games, you're using Bing, which means, to me is like what do you call it? Generic, or not even generic, just like fake numbers. If you get people just searching things just to get Microsoft points, but I guess somehow, some way, they're able to charge advertisers.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, and that's why Google is what it is. Advertisements. That's why they cut down on the splits now, because those advertisement dollars are drying up.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think you were here last time, Brillis, when not that I announced, but I brought up that those Google, those YouTube shorts that I was creating a while back, they're going to start earning some dollars at the beginning of the year. So now people hate them. People like me, I don't like making them.
Why?
It may look like it may look like I'm having a great time making them. I don't like making them. I just don't like TikTok, Snapchat, shorts, those type of vertical videos. I just don't like them. They're not my bag, right? I like traditional widescreen. Those are my videos. Long form videos. Those are my videos. Short term, I could come up with something quirky real quick. But at the end of it, it's like, this is the only way I can grow the channel if I have to do these things, because they're forcing you to do those things, right? Yeah. But at the same time, it's like I'm making these videos, these shorts. I'm getting tons of views on the shorts because, like you said, you like them because you think they're funny, right?
I think they're funny because you are it's funny, but it's like they're juicing it on purpose. They're like, juicing that whole system and getting people to use it.
Right. So right now, and since it started, people who are even the bigger channels that are kind of forced to make these shorts, they don't get any kind of revenue from those shorts. And that was the biggest big complaint. It's like, how can TikTok pay these people? How does Snapchat pay these people? Google, the big media company, how are you not able to implement some kind of payment system, revenue system for your shorts? Right? Well, they finally figured it out. And at the beginning of the year of 2023, they're going to start doing some sort of whatever ad revenue stuff for everybody who does them. So
they've already using them and already juiced it a little bit, and then all those people who were doing them, all of a sudden they're not getting the money they were promised.
They always
now the hot thing now. They should be doing that now while it's the hot thing, but they wait until next year.
Why would they do it now when they already have y'all? Like, The perception is a lot of people are already rich from YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And so you get all these aspiring YouTube millionaires. They're gonna do whatever YouTube says, right? Google says.
Well, yeah.
And it was all about taking
Because they
share
push you down.
away from.
And I'm not kidding, realist. I am not joking. There's a moment in the last year and a half where my thing was growing, and then it went completely down. Right?
Stop messing with you, basically.
I'm like, what happened to my views? What happened to my subs and everything? Right? Like I couldn't understand why everything started flatlining. And then the whole shorts thing started coming up. And I watched somebody's channel like, hey, if this is what you notice about your channel, you got to do these shorts. Dude, kid you not. The first couple ones, the shorts that I did, just with 2 or 3 shorts, I got like $200 or $300, 2 or 300 subscribers right off the bat. Right off the bat.
Because all of a sudden now they're pushing you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They're pushing you.
Yeah. With 3 minutes of footage, because they can only be 1 minute each.
They could have did that the whole time, but they wait for this. You know?
Yes. And then I get messages like, dude, I like your shorts, man. I like the other stuff. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
up the money. Yeah.
It's like, you mean I got to do these stupid shorts to get more exposure? You know? And so I've been lazy. It's been a while since I've made one for gaming, but I mean,
it works for the mag if he was already making videos like that, you know. And those videos are legendary, right? But you would do stuff like that, but on a lower key, but only because you wanted to. When the art is forced, it's not the same thing.
No.
It's not the same thing.
No. So, I guess YouTube, you won this time. Let's see what else we got going here. What else we got? What are you playing, Realist? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Lately, man, I'm playing so much. I can pull up my thing and look it up, but man, last week I finished off Ghost. Tsushima.
Oh, did you?
Oh, so what do you think after all said and done?
Oh, it's outstanding. But I knew that, right? That was that was my saving grace. That's why I saved it for last.
Yeah.
Now there's nothing else I care about on that thing. It looked just like Assassin's Creed in Japan, and that's exactly what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And
yeah, it was good. It was good. I liked it too.
It was really well executed. Yes, I put a lot of time into that. And then that, because I never really got into Origins. I started it, but I didn't finish it. And I got it for my son because I put like 200. Probably like 500 into Origins. Whatever 25,
Origins?
Whatever 25 times 25 is. Yeah, not Origins. Odyssey.
Oh, Odyssey.
And then I put like 200 hours in Valhalla. Finished the main story, and then now I'm on Origins.
625.
Rounded. Yeah, so however many hours that is, right? That's how many hours it is.
625.
Yeah. But that's let me see, because I don't want to mess up this page. Let's go to Twitter. Say it'll tell me the last few games I've been playing, man. I've just been trying to find something to stick with, and then being an ADD gamer in between. We got too many games, man.
Yeah, bro.
There is too many games. There is.
Yeah, bro. Everybody
some time in.
Play.
We're gonna need to tell Microsoft to kind of slow it down, pump the brakes a little bit.
Nah. Aaron Greenberg said he's sorry, but can't stop, won't stop.
Yep.
I've been playing Road 96. I got a couple of kids across the border. Of course, Ghost. It took me 60 hours to do what I wanted to do.
Have you guys played any of the Deathloop since it came home?
I'm getting there, man. You asked me a question, let me answer you. Deathloop, but I played Deathloop before, but now I'm playing it on Xbox.
Yeah.
But for the most part, that's it. I played some Metal Hellsinger, and
yes, I got that next on my list to play.
Nino Kuni.
Yep,
and then because I got a little bit deeper into Cyberpunk about 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And I know you said that you were going deep in it, Tech.
Yeah.
Man,
I need to get back.
If I play the game the way I play that game, it'll be the only thing I play.
Yes.
If you do everything, you'll love it.
That's how I play, man. If I see a landmark, I'm gonna figure it out.
That's.
If I see somebody with a quest marker, I'm gonna take it.
I've cleared out all the gigs that's available. Now I'm working on getting all the Night City cop landmarks cleared out of all the sections, the whole map. That's what I'm working on. And there's tons of those things. Of those the police.
I don't even know what that means. So
reminds me of some Grand Theft Auto.
Well, it helps out your everything you do helps out your character. So whatever little landmarks that you defeat, like the gigs or the police little missions, mini missions that are in there, dude, they just up your experience and like unlocks everything. So by the time you do the main missions and the side missions, dude, your guy's so jacked up. It's like those enemies don't have a chance.
So let me ask you this: the big heist. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to spoil nothing. You know, with your homie, you know, you infiltrate a building. You know, you witness something happen. You know that part I'm talking about there?
Yeah, it's towards the beginning.
Right. Okay, so did you start doing a bunch of side quests before you got to that part, or what did you do? Or did you do that part?
I think a mixture of both, just because I'm trying to get into it.
Me too.
So I did a balance of both, like a bunch of side missions. Like if I saw if a side mission was available to me, I'll knock off like 2 or 3 of them before I go to the main mission. Like, all right, I did 3 side missions. I'll go and do a couple of main missions, you know?
I'm at the point now where I passed, because what happened was I played past that point, and then I read ahead. No, I didn't read ahead. I read back at the choices I didn't make. I'm like, oh, I'd rather I did this though. But I met up with this one chick and we had a one timer. I don't know if that's gonna happen again, but I don't want to ruin that. So I want that to happen the same way again.
I already had a one timer with one of the chicks.
yeah. But it was like a one timer. Like she just calls you out of nowhere. I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? That's still how it goes. And
they're full on frontal too, man.
Oh yeah, they don't censor nothing.
It's like The Witcher.
Rated M for a reason. But after that, I realized, okay, so I started over. Now I'm past the part that I was talking about with the mission, that big mission, and then now I read about the main plot missions. I'm like, oh, okay. So now I stopped. Now I'm doing nothing but side missions. You know, I got that one girl, Pan Am. I'm in the middle of doing the quest. That gets her to be your girl, and that's what I was in the middle of. I did a couple of those missions, but there's more to do. So that's what I've been working on when I had stopped. So I want to go back to that because I was in the middle of one of those quests. Yeah, and they're all fun. So I like doing them. The plot is good too. So like, it motivates you to complete that storyline. Or whatever storyline of whatever quest, like the Delamain thing, the taxi. Oh, that was fun as hell. I remember
looking for the cars. Yeah.
When he drove, like he drove into me or whatever, and he started popping some shit, like some gangster, like anime. I don't know what it was. He was like, beep, motherfucker, boom. I'm like, yo, this dude is wilding.
Delamain.
Yeah, Delamain. Yeah. The taxi service thing. So it's just like, man, they give you such personality and stuff. Yeah, that game.
And then each car has its own personality. It just cracks you up, the situation they're in. Yeah.
Hilarious game, bro. And it's good to see that the game is doing well now. You know, just like The Witcher and other previous games that had issues, from that developer. And in fact, they announced a sequel, basically.
Yeah.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they talked about what is it? The Witcher sequel, and it's gonna be what, 4 parts, 6 or 3?
3. I think it's gonna be a new trilogy. Cyberpunk sequel.
No, it was Cyberpunk. There was a trilogy, right?
No. Witcher.
And then 4 parts to The Witcher.
No. Witcher is the trilogy. I'm very sure on that aspect. There's one new Cyberpunk game coming, maybe another one as well, some kind of multiplayer. But the multiplayer still has to come out for Cyberpunk. But there's also some kind of other one, I think. Excuse me.
The Witcher games creating a new AAA RPG trilogy.
Yeah. Hey, I have, you know, and the point being, what I was saying was, I have increased confidence in CDPR. Like they took their lumps for what they did, right? So for damn sure, they're not going to make that same mistake twice. There'd have to be some kind of pack of morons over there to do that. So I have high expectations of their next projects, you know, and like the pack, you know, the next gen pack for Witcher 3s, they confirmed even before this that's coming out this year.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's another one. Can't wait to see, because I never played The Witcher 3. I only played the first two on PC.
So, Realist, since you say you're playing Cyberpunk, right? You have the X, right?
What do you mean the X?
Series X.
Oh yeah, the console. Yeah.
So, are you playing graphic, like performance mode, or?
I always play performance on the PC because you know this it's cross progression now. So
Your cross saves, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll play on both, and if I'm on a Steam Deck, of course I'm gonna go as low as I can because otherwise it doesn't work that good.
Yeah.
I think 45 cap, 40 cap.
Yeah, so I'm playing. I've been playing a long time on ray tracing. On the Series X, and then one day I just like at random, like, you know what? Let me try performance. Not that I was looking bad in ray tracing. It's like, let me try performance, dude. So much better.
Oh, dude, it's the frame rate so much better, particularly after this next gen patch, because it was 60 frames before and it was pretty good, but it wasn't like a locked.
Yeah.
Now it's pretty much locked on both the PS5 and the Series X. So it looks so much better. It's so much smoother. I was also on the performance back then as well, but now I know. From Digital Foundry and others who did the FPS counter. I know a lot of people don't hate hearing their names, but they confirmed that on both it's pretty much the same. Just like with the new Call of Duty beta, it was the same on both as well. You know, neither one had advantage on the other. They were both the same.
You know the problem I have with that, Sick? Because last generation we were counting blades of grass. Call of Duty was 180p better. And they made a big deal out of it. So if the PlayStation is 300p less than the Series S, I'm not gonna downplay it because they didn't downplay anything last gen.
Right.
You know what I mean? When the Series X got to stomping on the PS4 Pro, they started saying, "Oh, we're not gonna do comparison. We're losing interest in comparison." For sure.
Now they're losing interest, right?
Right. Right. Unless you can find some way, to point fun. Yeah. At some minor thing that really doesn't matter.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So if the PS5 has more frame rate dips, I want to talk about it. I'm gonna act like I'm excited about it because last generation, these dudes were literally walking around Grand Theft Auto counting blades of grass.
Actually, that was
Call of Duty, the definitive edition was on the PlayStation 4 because of an extra 180p. Our games were trash because they were playing in 720. So look, man. I don't care how small y'all make it. I'm gonna talk junk about it.
Oh no doubt. The average resolution on the Xbox for Call of Duty, I think, is a little higher. But I'm just saying, comparison to what the 60 frames was before, of course. But
I think PlayStation has a native game.
I don't think so either. But I'm just saying
maybe their own. But like the third parties is always at like 1800 dynamic.
Right. But the point I was making is that compared to the way the 60 frames was before, it's pretty much locked now. So yeah, like the graphical improvement that you get, especially for FPS game, you want that frame, you want that input latency to be low. You want that performance. You feel especially when you're sniping or do something where that helps. Or just shooting in general. Depending on how good of a shot you are. You want that. And Cyberpunk, man, they really did put their elbows in there to get it to that point, and there's more coming. So good on them, and I can't wait to see what they do next. I know they must have learned.
Well, DLC is coming out next year, right?
Yeah, DLC is coming. So I'm just saying that for the next Cyberpunk, man. Yeah. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, don't forget what happened last time." Trust me, they didn't forget that either. So anybody who's going to start to claim that, even now, nah, just stop with that. Trust me. At this point, it's going to be excellent. I'm going to give you another example of how that happened in a similar game. Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PC. because the fourth one on PC had some performance issues, right? It was kind of
Mhm.
weird. No matter what kind of hardware you threw at it, it didn't get that much better, because the game was kind of funky. So a lot of people were worried about the PC version. I'm like, man, I don't know what y'all worried about after all the complaining y'all did about the last time. You think they're gonna make that mistake again? And lo and behold, they did. And that was an excellent port. That was an excellent point, and was recognized as such. You know what I'm saying? It really improved. So I have improved confidence with CD Projekt Red that their projects coming out in the future are going to have that, level of spit and polish that, number one, they never had before, but definitely not to get to the lows as, what Cyberpunk had at launch.
Yeah.
I just think they'd have to be absolute morons not to have learned their lesson.
But look, man, I told y'all that by the time they release their next game, you'll forget all about what happened at the launch of Cyberpunk. I told y'all that.
Yeah,
because
the same thing that happened
because just like Witcher, everybody was griping and complaining about it. And then,
really?
Oh my god!
Well, I mean, I guess I got into Witcher like
played.
late in the game.
That's
you
why.
got into it on console probably, and that's why you didn't know. It was on PC when it was having all this mess.
Okay.
On console, it wasn't even that bad at that point.
Well, see, I wasn't ever aware of the Witcher franchise. Period. Right. Somehow I got worried about. You got to try The Witcher. You got to try The Witcher. I'm like, okay, I'll try Witcher 3. Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. Well, Xbox out of nowhere had Witcher 3, the entire collection, or the entire like DLCs and everything, the definitive, I guess you can call it,
like $9,
$5, $5. So I'm like, got it, bought it.
Yep. Enough said. Yeah.
And dude, I played it twice. The main story, not the DLCs yet, but the main stories. I played it twice. It was awesome. Right.
I hear a lot about the side quests and stuff that they're just as
bro.
The plot and story is just as filled out or like they put effort into it. Just for
it's like you don't know you're on a side mission. They're just as good as the main quest.
Yeah.
It's
like
not
it doesn't feel like a chore.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, I mean, not to. Hey, man, it's the best game Sony has to offer, man. But it's just like that on Ghost. Bro, look, they think I'm just talking junk. It's the only thing worth having a PlayStation for.
Yeah, Ghost is good. It is good.
Ghost is good. Yep.
Yeah, but so is Assassin's Creed, and I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
And then now they're making one in Japan. So
of course,
they should have beat.
They should have been working on that for a while because folks were asking for that for years.
Yeah, they've been
like everybody expected it too. Yeah.
But if you look at kind of like what they've been doing, it doesn't really fit. I mean, how many mythical demon people or beings are there to fight in Japanese culture?
There's one gripe I have with the AC games, and I wish they would just take away the Artemis thing, or whatever that thing is called, that machine.
Oh, the Animus.
The Animus. I used to hate the Animus too.
I wish they just do away with that whole thing. Because it adds nothing to the. Oh man, at least for me, it doesn't add anything to the game overall.
I stopped paying attention after I heard that they killed that guy, like the guy who was in the
Desmond.
In the first couple of Desmond, like they killed him. So, the hell? It was
you're still in the Animus, bro.
Oh,
I really hated taking over that chick who was working.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I hate just put me back in.
Like they have to tell you the backstory of the Animus. Because like that turned me off because when I got the Xbox One, it came with like all those Assassin's Creed from that generation, like Unity, Black Flag, Syndicate. I want to say Brotherhood too. I got all of them.
Brotherhood.
Did you guys play Rogue?
I didn't like them. I didn't. It felt like it was on rails, and so I was done with the series until my son was like, "Daddy, can I have this?" So I got him Odyssey. And I was like, and then he went through that and said, "Can you give me Origins?" I never bothered with playing.
Man, both of those games are huge too.
They are huge, but I went through Odyssey, and we started. He and I both we started on Valhalla Day 1. So now that's why I went back to Origins because man, I didn't like the way the Assassin's Creed games played. It kind of felt like limited. Like I had to do. It was like on a open, but not really.
Yeah,
I had to basically do it all a certain way. You remember like they had the like red areas where you had to go to be on and things like, and then it evolved slowly into, we have the black flag. Well, black flag was mostly like ships until I got tired of that. I don't know if you ever got
the old
to
pirate.
do a lot of land work, but these new ones, man, I love it. They have like it's more of an RPG style where you're quest hunting, finding quests, finding gear. A lot of people didn't like how Valhalla went, but I didn't mind.
Yeah,
man, could have went back to RNG and then people still be crying.
RNG.
RNG.
People always crying. That's what they do. But yeah, that's what been playing. But I wanted to mention the 2 games that I've been playing because, man, okay, you mentioned one that I haven't played yet, but I want to. Metal
Hellsinger.
Okay, Metal Hellsinger, because I just saw the video on YouTube. What do you call that group? It's like a trailer. It's like a movie trailer, but they do it for games now too. They'll have a game version and a movie version.
Corn?
No. Oh my god, I gotta remember this YouTube account. Oh, I gotta look at my history. But basically, he was doing like a trailer for it's like a movie trailer with that old school voice. Honest game trailer. There you go. They did the one for Metal Hellsinger. Now, I'd already planned on playing it after I played the other 2 games I mentioned, but I was watching that video of it, and it just the music is implemented into the gameplay as well. So if you shoot with the timing and whatnot, it seems to be. It makes me want to play that immediately because I planned to play it after I played Proteus, which
I was gonna bring that up too,
and Moonscars. So if you want to talk about Proteus right now, we can.
Well, no, I haven't played it yet.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't played. I'll play when I get back from vacation.
I'm just talking about the graphics, right? I'm not going to talk about anything else, right? It's like a retro style in terms of look.
I'm looking at a video right now,
right? So it's like Quake 2-esque, right? But the colors and the lighting is like what you would think ray tracing would be, and they try to make it low res looking. But you can go in the menu and you'll see the default is at 360p, and you can bump it up to native, but you can't do anything in between. I have seen, right? But wow, does it change the look to an extent? But it still has that retro look. The game is fun. It's got co-op, which I didn't know until I was reading about it just now. It has co-op. I didn't know about that. That's awesome. And it's published by Humble Games, who have been on a tear lately with indie releases. I always talk about Project Wingman. Once again, here's the way to fit that in. It's published by Humble Games, and there's a lot of these games by Humble Games that, like, I always talk about how I love indies, and on the 360, the Xbox Live Arcade was like 50% of my library on that system that I played, right? That was as important to me as any other type of game, right? As important. And there's a lot of those things on Game Pass Ultimate, or just Game Pass in general. So there's that, and there's also Moonscars, which is like a Castlevania Symphony of the Night type of game, and that's fun too. That's a real fun game too. So those are the 2 I've been playing, but I definitely want to get into Metal Hellsinger. That looks freaking bomb as hell.
Bro,
and all 3 are on Game Pass.
That's why I took a picture on Twitter. Like, dude, you start doing all kinds of involuntary movements to keep to the beat. Showed that I walked like half a mile in the 10 minutes I was playing that round. You gotta do everything to the beat.
Yes.
I've been hearing a lot about this game, man. Y'all have at it.
Well, I haven't played it yet, but all I did was I've seen the video on, like I said, honest game trailers. It just, that just looks so badass. I can't wait to play that.
Let's see. I've been playing Immortals.
It's multiplayer.
Oh, I've been playing that too. I gotta get back to that.
Immortals.
Phoenix Rising?
Yeah, Phoenix Rising.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that game's outstanding. I still got 3 guys to do.
So do I. It's so massive. But I go around
huge. They're making a sequel, right?
Just like every other game.
Good.
These open world games. I go out and look for my health stuff. Anything that's attributes. I go look for it because I want to kick butt. Sit there getting my ass kicked the whole time throughout the game.
You want to be a tank, basically.
I want to be a tank. And that's what I've been doing. I freed that first god, a tree, whatever her name is. Aphrodite's, I think it's her name. Got hurt.
Aphrodite.
Released.
God, it's love.
And it's fun, man. It's a massive world. It is a clash between Assassin's Creed and Breath of the Wild. But
it's got a lot of influence of Breath of the Wild.
oh yeah,
sure.
it has a lot of fun between both games, and it's a lot of fun. So at first I was like, oh, somebody told me I was gonna get into this. I was like, I'm really not. But I was like, oh, and then the characters are funny too. So
Yes,
Yeah.
Zeus and what's his name are hilarious. They're telling the story the whole
Poseidon,
time.
is it Poseidon? No, it's not Poseidon.
It's not Poseidon.
But they're funny.
Yeah.
The back talk, the commentary that they do is just it's
Oh my
funny.
God, Zeus
And then
is
you
just
have Hermes,
ugh.
Hermes or Hermes, whatever his name is.
Who's the little pretty man?
That's Hermes. It's like Herman and
That's
Hermes.
Hermes.
Hermes, and
Okay.
he's funny.
Yeah.
He's the annoying funny guy.
I remember when that game first came out, man. Like, this is what I
It's on
hate
Game
about
Pass.
people that need to talk about a game. They have a desire not even a desire, a need to complain. I remember what's that other game with the little rat, Biomutant. They complained about the commentary, dude. I thought that was refreshing in both games.
I didn't like
Better in you didn't like it?
Nope, not in Biomutant.
No, it was refreshing. It was something that it broke the monotony. You have somebody just throw out a random comment. And now I'm not saying that it was the best commentary, but I'm not gonna. I wouldn't complain about it. Yeah, people. No, I didn't say it was the best. Because with Immortals, people were complaining about the commentary. I was like, dude, it's funny.
No, it's funny in that one. Yeah.
They need to cut back. It's just a bit much. Like, come on, man. Like, you don't have to complain. Like, sometimes things are good. Just say it's good and keep it popping. Like, these dudes, they just have to complain about it.
Yeah,
and
if one aspect isn't their way, they got a big problem with it.
Well, if it's not really your way, but when you reach to complain, everybody can tell.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying. You complain about humorous commentary. I mean, it's not going to be, Dave Chappelle, but it's good enough for this video game.
Yeah.
But
High
have
Life,
you made it to the?
It's gonna get a lot of that crap.
I meant to ask y'all if y'all watched that. Did y'all watch the new commentary or director's cut or whatever you call it?
Of what?
High on Life.
High on Life.
Oh no.
Or the last time they showed it off was a week or two ago. I think 2 weeks ago, maybe even 3 now. That was the last time I saw anything about it.
I just saw a video, and I think it's IGN, and they're playing it, and they have the one of the studio heads basically talking about the development of the game while they played through the game, explaining some of the weapons and the personalities of the guns.
Yeah, that reminds me of the clip from like I said a couple weeks ago, where the gun was like, "Don't shoot the kid." The kid's talking all this shit like, "Shoot me then," and then he shoots. He's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did it." And that's that's that Rick and Morty style, bro. Because I think that one guy from Rick and Morty is behind the game, right?
Yes, that's true. Yeah. It is the Rick and Morty. Well, I was just like, the game does not look that good. If it did, though, because those little blobs, they did not look like that in the game. But the game runs on a Switch.
Yeah.
I double dipped on that game because it was $20 on the Switch like a month after it came out. I bought the what do you call it? The gold version on the Xbox though. Dude, that game is so fun. I don't know how it scored in the 70s, but then you got some of these other games scoring 90s and high 80s. They scored that game in the 70s, bro.
It's politics, bro. You know how that goes.
But it's Ubisoft. I mean, it's not like a little mom and pop. It's not an Xbox game.
That's how people perceive it, man. Perception and the truth are two different things,
Bro, that game was cool. It's in Game Pass though.
It's in Game Pass. Yes.
People really sleep on these games.
They do. So that's what I'm playing. It's Immortals. Still playing Cyberpunk, and I think Sick already knows. But I picked up Battlefield 2042 for $6.
You did? Oh, I paid full price with the DLC and all of that. The season pass, whatever the big crazy version is.
Yeah.
Knowing full well it was gonna need some work anyway, even before the whole alpha, issue when people were complaining from back then. Because it's a Battlefield game and I'm a Battlefield fan. I know how that goes. But I didn't expect it to be a Battlefield 4 situation, even worse all over again, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, they've been putting in their work, so you got $6 and you still bought it. Because a lot of people are saying they wouldn't buy it for any price.
So we talked about it a couple months ago, maybe a month ago, and Realist was like, since you got Ultimate, you got EA Play, which means you get 10 hours of trial time. finally, I was at a good stopping point on my other games. Like, let me try out, Battlefield,
It got you.
and it got me right. So I'm like, oh, and I used up my 10 hours that weekend, right? Because that's all I played that weekend was Battlefield. So I'm gonna use up all my 10 hours. I'm gonna get into this, right? So I got into it. The menu system was horrendous, was awful, right? Everything was just like out of whack. They just nothing was organized like it was supposed to be, right?
Right.
Because the game modes were like under this tab, and your profiles under this tab, and you get the battle pass, which I think the battle pass is worthless. I don't know why they even have that crap in there, right? So I used up my 10 hours and I stopped. I started getting that itch, man. I'm like, dang it, I want Battlefield, man, because I liked it. It was fun, right? And then it brought back some Bad Company 2 maps, and that made it more fun, right? And so I waited, and it kind of itch went away. I'm like, okay, I'm cool. I'm the games. And then I went to GameFly, and GameFly said, you can buy this game. If, you can try it, and if you like it, you buy it. Like, all right, well, I'll just buy it. Well, I couldn't buy it at the price they were offering it because I'm not a subscriber. So I went ahead and subscribed for free under a new account. And then when it arrived, the whole keep me for X amount of dollars came up, because you don't get it right away. You have to wait like a few days after. And it's like, get it for $5. Okay. Bam. Bought it, kept it, canceled my subscription. That's all I wanted.
Nice.
Got it for $6, man.
Yeah, PlayStation fans used to love GameFly and what's the one? Red something?
A Redbox?
Redbox.
Yeah, Redbox.
But they don't do games anymore.
No, I used to buy tons of games from Redbox. They would mark it down big time.
Right. And PlayStation fans used to love that, and they must have abused that the most.
Yeah, what it is, if you don't bring it back, then they have a set fee, and the people are just keeping the games.
Yeah, because it was way below what the market was saying.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I got my Battlefield copy. I've been playing it. I played it a ton. I think I stayed up to like 3 a.m. playing Battlefield.
I got you. Hooked you.
Well, how you like it?
I like it.
Okay.
I like it, man. It's fun.
Hey, man, if you have time on the weekends, hit me up. We'll play. Because like I said, I've got the game, and I've been interested in getting into it now that I hear, they've been working it out. And it's getting
So when I first played the trial, and I told you the menu system was just like the homepage is just terrible. It was horrendous. It was just rubbish, right? Now that I got I got the disc, I was able to play it now. They revamped the whole thing. Yeah, it looks so much better now. It's easier to navigate. It's easier to find whatever you need to find. There's a couple of things that are still quirky, but overall, it's way better than it was before.
Yeah.
Yep. So
yeah, because that's the game there. Like I said, we were talking about this behind the scenes. I think the previous show, definitely had a history with it, and so do you. This is just a series. I knew it would have been worked out eventually, but the thing I see now is people are trying to compare it to Halo Infinite, and they're like, which one is worse, Battlefield or Halo? And I think I responded, Halo is fine. It's missing content. Battlefield was broken and missing content. Yeah. Okay. There's a big difference, but that's just people trying to conflate one thing into another, to keep a narrative going. But Battlefield, like I said, they put in a lot of effort, and they still do put in effort. And the thing I noticed about that is because on Steam, if you follow certain games on Steam, you just mark the game as follow, right? Yeah. In your activity list, not only will you see, if you're following, your friends, whatever, it'll say this person is playing this game, they bought this game, whatever, you can give it a like. But also, like, the developers will post news, like, oh, we're coming out with this game, or this game, that you bought, but we found this other game, it's on sale now. But in the case of Battlefield, they would always give you a copy of the blog post with all the patch notes. And I've been seeing patch notes for the past month in my Steam activity list. Like every day when I scroll through it, every other day there'll be a post, about Battlefield. Oh, we got a new patch, and here's all the fixes and additions and maps, and this is our plan of what we want to do, and this is how we're going to address it. And over time, I've been watching these lists and these posts, and then seeing this is what the community is responding to. Like, oh, they fixed this. oh, they did that. Oh, this is working. Oh, here's the content from Map from Bad Company 2. And more people have been talking about this is why I want to play it. Like, it sounds like from the reaction from the gamers, which is the most important metric I feel.
Yeah.
Is that, folks are saying, hey, man, it's worth playing now. So now I want to play it. Finally.
Yeah. I'll let you know when I play again, because I've had a lot of fun. And if you're not into, like, we know Battlefield is about the big battles that can last like 30 minutes or so. There's some modes that don't last, they only last about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Or maybe 10 minutes.
So
those little quick matches are good, because like, okay, you get the little quick match, get something to eat, get something to drink, go back in there, play a couple more rounds. And then if you up for it, then you can go to the bigger modes where, the matches can last for like 30 or 40 minutes,
Yeah.
So,
Battlefield 4 is on cloud, because I was looking through my Xbox and
is it?
I wanted to uninstall some games and it was already uninstalled, but you know how it shows up, and only recently they put that little arrow. I'm like, oh
yeah,
okay, it's not installed. But then I looked, because I was about to install it actually, and I know it's a little cloud thing was right next. I'm like, oh snap, it's on the cloud too. So then the next thing I thought was, dude, Battlefield 2042, if they put that on the cloud, and it's at the point when they, really fix it up, when it's because there's kind of come a point like they did with Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Well, when they feel like it's really at the point where they can really start marketing it again, I think around that time it might come to the cloud. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. The maps are good. They rotate, like Fridays. They rotate maps and modes. And they introduced like the old maps, like I'm talking about the Battlefield 3s or the Battlefield Bad Company 2, stuff like that. And it brings back so many memories from those maps. It's awesome.
Let me ask you one question. There's one map I'm interested in. If they have it, I'm hype. If not, I'm like, God damn it, they need to work on that. Strike at Karkin. Is that there yet?
Which one again?
Strike at Karkin.
Strike at Karkin. Sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Because they had brought it back for Battlefield 4 and maybe 3. I think they both had gotten that map, but I don't know if it's in a
Parkland. Oh, I don't think so.
In 2042, because they need to bring that map. Love that map. That map means something to me. Like, I'm sure there's a map or two from Bad Company 2 that really means something to you, and it's there now. Man, if they do that, man, I'm gonna be bald.
No, I see a little forum and video thing that says maps I want, Strike at Karkin, but that's not one.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it's known. It's known. No. So if they do that, they got me. I mean, they already got my money, and I played it like once or twice. I'm probably like level 3, yes. Right? Because it was so broken back then.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I'm waiting to play it. EA.
So, all right. The main topic and the title of the show: Sony panics over the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal. And now they're trying to get Google to team up with them, or they did, to voice their concerns about. And they keep, I guess, because Call of Duty is the big title, they always keep referring to Call of Duty. Oh, Call of Duty this, Call of Duty. They never talk about the other games, because it's a lot of games. But they keep going back to Call of Duty because that is the big title.
I'm confused about this because didn't like when the FTC asked Amazon, Google, a bunch of other competitors, they were like, we don't have any problem. Yep. Now it's the EU with Sony. Now Google has something to say.
Yeah,
kind of sus. Plus, Microsoft can just be like, hey, that's not what they told the FTC.
But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, can they really prevent anything?
I mean, they can. The EU is definitely a lot more litigious, and they try more actively than any.
But these are about two American companies, though.
They can't do anything.
They can't do anything. But EU always tries way hard. I'll give you an example of what they do, and it's against Microsoft, and they use that as a stepping point to go after a lot of other companies. When Google, Microsoft had already dealt with the State Department or whatever when it came to their whole monopoly situation, right? Yep. And so about I want to say 05, 06, 07 or so, around that time frame, now the EU was coming after Microsoft, right? And they went after Microsoft first, right? Got that squared away. They punished them by some amount. They had to pay, some amount of money. Then immediately after, they went after Google and Amazon and this and Apple and this and that. And it just looks to me like it always felt to me like their reasoning for doing any of that stuff was just for the easy money. But they went after Microsoft first at a time when they were still particularly hated. Like, there's people who hate Microsoft who's still salty about the whole monopoly thing now, right? But generally, overall, like, most people don't care about that, right? They'll reference it, if they're discussing the situation, but it's not something that, that they'll just sit there and like, evil ass Microsoft, blah, 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 right? Because most of the people who were in charge and did those moves aren't even there anymore. But, but they did that then, and now they go after all these companies. Look what happened with Apple with USB-C, which I applaud, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? As
Apple and what?
USB-C.
USB-C.
Oh, okay.
Right? But it seems like they only do that stuff for money and less about the principle that they claim it is. And this Apple thing is the first example of them doing something I felt that actually benefits the people in the way they said, right?
I give it to Europe though. They do look out for their customers.
Yeah,
more than what they do here.
Right, but the EU, when it went after these big corporations, it seemed to just be to validate their existence and to get some easy money that the EU really needed in those early days, right? And so it smells funny now that the EU is acting this way, right? And they got Google. Actually, it's not the EU, right? It's the CA. I'm sorry, but it's still like a European thing. So this is actually the UK, what you call CMA. I think I don't even know if it's an EU organization. Isn't it a UK organization actually?
It's the CMA.
The CMA, I think.
Consumer marketing something.
Yeah. So I think that's actually a UK thing. But the point is, I'm saying is that Google had no issue, and now all of a sudden they do. But the EU has something to do with this now, or something. And it's just like, I don't know. That sounds kind of sus, extra sus to me.
But see, we don't know how accurate that is because there are a lot of statements that were redacted in those those forms that we got to see. So we don't know if they had a complaint, but it doesn't matter. None of them hold any weight because if Google actually tried to compete, then they would still have a Stadia. Was it not Toshima? What's his name?
Kojima
would still be there. Jade Raymond wouldn't be a PlayStation first party
studio. He refused his project. That's apparently what happened.
So the thing is nothing that Sony can say because they are the scummiest of the scum. And
continue to prove it. Google
didn't even try.
Yeah.
So
they really didn't.
I'm sure that these regulatory bodies would love nothing more than to shut down $1 trillion company. But you need a case. Because I sat and I listened to the cases that they had against Apple, Amazon, and Meta. And they were strong, they were compelling. And I was like, oh, there's some trashy companies. I hate the way Mark Zuckerberg's face looks too. Right? like seriously, I mean, if you watch the court cases and you listen to the people's commentary, you're like, ew, I hate these guys. They're so smug too. Yeah, you feel like they're smug just like everybody else because you look at Mark and he's like, yeah, and they can't touch him. And they know it. Tim Cook. They all and they can't touch him. What's the second richest man's name? Bezos. He gets up there and they're like, dude, y'all are really wasting my time, but I'm making a few $100,000 a second, so whatever. Like there's nothing that they really can do, but they do have to show face. And
they have to validate their existence.
It has to be something like when Nvidia tried to buy the ARM company, which would have literally given them pretty much like a what is it 0.75%, which is pretty much a monopoly. They would have controlled so many sectors in the ARM chip market. But see, Apple doesn't care because they pretty much still have the best one on the market up to this point. But there's nothing that these people can bring to Microsoft that would win them a case in court. Satya Nadella will give them that smug smile, and people will hate Microsoft the same way I hate Mark. But there's nothing that they can do because there's no real case. they have to somehow relate Microsoft Gaming to Microsoft, the other 5 units. You know, whereas in gaming they are nowhere near number 1. But we all know. Look, Sony should be crying right now. I am in total agreement with Jim. This could be the end of Sony as we know it when this deal goes through. Unless Sony can somehow manage to bring up a shooter.
Wait. It could be the end of, I mean,
the end of Sony as
we're
we know it.
exaggerating here a little bit, but over one game because of this deal?
Yes.
Yeah, because of the
okay, look, why look, Sick, you are a gamer. We are not everybody that buys a console, these Switches, these Xboxes, these PlayStations are not hardcore gamers like you, not hardcore gamers like myself, not hardcore gamers like Sick. These guys are playing Madden, 2K, FIFA, and COD. Right?
Major.
They're gonna drop God of War between 2 COD games. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They look. Nobody cared when they dropped Horizon. They cared for a couple weeks when they dropped GT. People are not buying these consoles to play first party. That's what I'm saying. It could be the end of Sony as we know it. I don't think that they're gonna die completely.
Yeah.
They'll move to a third party publisher before they go away completely, or they'll become an Apple station before
And
they
they're
go
already
away
making
completely.
those moves from the PC side,
And Google probably trying to, because look, man, 70 billion is pocket change. Upon further review, Google had more money than Microsoft, more cash, and they didn't make any moves when it came to gaming. So anything that they have to say as far as Microsoft's position or strengthening their position, I don't care, because they weren't invested. They didn't deserve my $10 a month, but I'm glad they're giving me my money back. You know what
shine
I mean?
in the dark, I guess.
But
they're just trying something. Hopefully it works for them. This is what they're thinking.
Like I said, if push came to shove, Sony's looking like food to a lot of these companies.
Mm-hmm.
Apple's got 200 million, Microsoft's got 140, Google's got 160 billion. Right now, Sony's worth 60 or whatever $billion. Their market cap was at was it 100 billion, and now it's fallen by 30 in the past few months, $30.
Because of the deal?
They lost 20 billion right after the Activision announcement, $19 billion. So there's no case that they can bring, just going back to the point. There's no case that they can bring to Microsoft. People are going to begin to hate Microsoft, but Microsoft's going to have to make people love them. They're going to have to forget. But yeah, I am not exaggerating, Tech, because if Call of Duty moves, and PlayStation's been lazy, they've been lax. They depend on third party for their multiplayer games. Let's just say Amazon would have given EA that money. Then where do we go for our sports games? Where do PlayStation people go?
Yeah.
And then when Microsoft takes away COD, Deviation just lost their leader. What else do they have in the woodworks? Who wants to play Horizon multiplayer? They didn't want to play the single player. Okay, Last of Us, that's not even coming out next year. And it has to be a hit, not just with the hardcore Sony fans, with all those other 100 million people who bought a console. Yes, Tech, every year, Call of Duty, the current year and the previous year, are 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 on that console. Yes.
Yep. Even Vanguard, as hated as it was, even Vanguard.
That's why your boy is on a reunion tour right now, crying everywhere he can.
With Jimmy?
Because he sees it. Yes, Jimmy.
He's running over to Brussels.
Bro, you won't look, when I talk to this stuff, this is what I mean. Y'all can talk me down if y'all think I'm going to, but I mean this because I agree. Because if you look at how Sony is, you look at how they're constructed, they have zero multiplayer presence.
No, they don't.
And now they're doing it on whim. Now they need something to hit. This is the worst position to be in for them. And all they can do is depend on other people's IP for their multiplayer presence. Yes, Tech, they're in trouble. They got what, 6 years to figure it out? 5 years to figure it out? Because the next game comes out in 24 and they got 3 years after that. They got 5 years to get it together.
And he turned down the deal that Phil gave him. He said, nope.
Oh, that was what is inadequate?
Yeah, it was inadequate.
Beggars can't be choosers.
And the other thing is, just like the FTC, the CMA or whatever, has no obligation to assure Sony's continued existence. Okay? They're just making sure the game is played fair. But other than that, if one loses the game compared to the other, and that's the end of them, well then so be it. Yeah. As long as it was fair.
They're playing 4D chess. They've been playing 4D chess for years.
Yep.
Like Microsoft, we're not counting consoles. Why? Because when we buy these publishers, first thing is going to be brought up is Microsoft's share and how it affects Sony. Because at the end of the day, you said they don't owe Sony's continued existence, but we are better for having Sony around.
Absolutely, I'm just saying,
because if Sony didn't kick Xbox up and down the street while they were down, then we wouldn't be where we are right now. That's so right. we need something like that. Right.
That's what competition is. What I'm saying is, they don't owe Sony that they're gonna prevent them the kill shot from Microsoft if they beat them at in fair competition. So as long as it's fair, quote unquote, because we know it's always not fair, but as fair as it can.
I said life's not fair.
Life's not fair. Exactly.
All they can do is make Sony feel a little bit better about what's happening.
At best. Yeah,
because right. These guys, man, they are the opponents of what they are protesting right now.
Yeah.
And what E-Rock said, the world is not going to miss PlayStation.
We got E-Rock in the chatterbox
because they're gonna be in the cloud. See, look, I'll give Sony credit for trying. They went with Gaikai and it was a bust.
And they went there first.
Yeah, they were. So they were trying. But if you look at
didn't they?
Yeah, but if you look at what they're doing now, is they're scrambling.
Credit for that. Yep.
They're scrambling. Like they are not prepared for anything. And those who knew, the real Xbox people who pay attention to Xbox and don't care about what other people have to say, we saw what Microsoft is doing. We're taking it to the sky. Why is America number one? Air superiority. They're moving it to the sky. Y'all can keep y'all's consoles where you don't even make money. All right, we'll sell those, and we'll put our games on PC, and we'll be in the cloud where the majority of the gamers are anyway.
Yep.
So if you look at their website, they're promoting the access of these games to more games.
This one right here?
That one right there. And that's what it's all. And they've been plotting this. When they played the good guys saying, "Oh, we're not about paying to keep games off of other consoles." Right? They've been watching Sony just hang themselves, watching them choke themselves with deal after deal after deal with AAA games, paying just to keep content off of the competitor platform,
locking rights, parity deals, so games have to have parity.
Dude, that's the gauntlet. They haven't even gotten there yet.
Yep,
they're just mentioning it right now. They planned for this deal to close next year, and now you got other rumors coming out saying that it's going to close in November now. Oh no, that the FTC was going to hand down their ruling. Bro, Microsoft
and here's the funny thing about all this too is as much as the things we listed that we just learned recently, like the blocking rights and all that other stuff, how many other details we don't know about and won't find out about because it'll be redacted? When all the paperwork comes out.
Bro, we
still
would never
know every detail that
we were never supposed to know about that.
Both sides do. Yeah, we're exactly my point. We weren't even supposed to know that, but we do.
But you remember that came from a Capcom security breach. Remember?
Exactly.
It's not like somebody had access to that. Somebody had to steal that to give it to us.
Right, and all the more better to my point that as for what little we know, right, that got leaked or just was out there, it's obvious to us if you're just being objective, right? What should be done. So imagine all the other stuff we don't know about, because if we just know this much, the rest got to be worse or at least as bad, right? So yeah, I definitely don't see it going any other way, but they're gonna give it the thumbs up.
Yeah, Because they already said that their multiplayer games are gonna pretty much stay, multi-plat. But that doesn't stop them from creating new IP. That doesn't stop them from phasing out Call of Duty. They say that IW's got something else going in Austin, right? They said that they've got another shooter in the works right now. Who's to say that doesn't overtake Call of Duty? And they just say the hell with Call of Duty. You know what, PlayStation, y'all love it so much, y'all make it. Mm-hmm. Buy the name since it means so much to you. Because I don't know if y'all saw, they got Call of Duty bundles. Like Call of Duty's on the box right now.
The same day when they first started talking all this mess, all of a sudden, that's when they decided to put that. It's like, wow, tone deaf is out.
Yeah, but see, Sony is just wasting time. These regulatory bodies, Microsoft anticipated, higher levels. I mean, if nothing else, they have to grandstand. They have to at least present like they did their due diligence,
right?
Because there's no way that they're gonna stop $70 billion.
No way.
Because that does nothing for the shareholders. That does nothing for nobody but Sony. Sony is the only one complaining. Every other publisher. Now you got Google coming out of the woodwork saying that they have an issue. So that's 2 out of about 40, 50 others. Google says, Apple said they don't give a fat rat. Embracer says we compete. Ubisoft said we compete with them. Epic said we compete.
Yep.
So only Sony's crying. So it's gonna go nowhere. Because when push comes to shove and they have to present their case, they said Sony had every opportunity to create a Call of Duty competitor. And how would they know that nothing is incomparable if they don't even try? Mm-hmm. Because they didn't try.
Yeah.
This whole time we've been making Halo. And Halo's been kicking and getting his ass kicked every time it comes out with another one, but we keep competing. Sony has not even bothered to compete. So how do they know that it's insurmountable, that it can't be overcome if they don't even try?
And the thing is,
Google has nothing to say when all we got to do is spend $7 billion when y'all have more money than us and y'all go tuck tail off of that.
And the thing too about that is they are like, everybody knows what you said is true, right? Every gamer who follows this stuff, who has a cursory knowledge of this stuff, knows it's true. Even the PlayStation fanboys, because you see it in their lives and how they lie around the facts, right? And this is something I say all the time. The fact that they lie so precisely around the facts show you they know the truth all along too. This is why I say everyone knows the truth. Everyone knows what you just said is true. It's just that simple. It's like, it's not rocket science. There's details we don't know or aren't privy to and we'll never know, but we know more than enough to know everything you just said is true.
This is all true, man. It's all facts. There's nothing to answer your question, Ted. It's a wrap, bro. Like your boy Marlon said. Seriously.
You were just saying about the wrong thing.
Yeah, Sony's gonna have to compete, man. Like Microsoft wasn't even trying, and Sony couldn't put them away.
Yeah.
And now that Microsoft sees that they already have a nice piece of a growing segment, it took them years to figure it out, but they finally figured it out, and our game time is gonna be better for it.
Oh, you remember something early on in the PS4 generation when it first started to kick off? I think it was Shuhei Yoshida who said this. I think it was him. He said they didn't know why the PS4 was so successful at the time. You could look that one up, Tech. I'm pretty sure it was him. In the first 6 months, maybe.
Dude, that E-Rock comment just sitting right there.
What do you say?
What do you laugh, bro? He said the world isn't gonna miss
PlayStation. Good riddance, right? Yeah, you mentioned that before. It's facts.
The facts. Japanese box. I can just hear. But I think that we're moving away from these boxes. That's where PlayStation's gonna struggle if they don't get their minds right. There's one talking about
all these moves in PC. That's why they're making all these moves in PC.
But see, they don't even have the nuts to tell their customers that we're going day one or that we're working towards it.
Yeah.
Oh, a
It's
year.
obvious to
It's
everybody.
it's not some arbitrary number. It's because that's all they can possibly do. But once
Yeah,
they
see,
man up, day one is coming.
yeah,
The
and that's
only
another
game,
example of what I was talking about.
every game that they
They know it.
released was beneath $60, but they want to charge 70,
Mhm.
right? The only one that they charged $60 for was Spider-Man, and that's because it's Spider-Man. But God of War was $50, still is $50. Horizon, the other game, the zombie game, has been as low as $9. They just had a Sony sale, a couple weeks ago, and Spider-Man is the only game that they can hold the line on. So if you take all this time to release your games, who's gonna buy them? The hype's gone. We've already watched it on YouTube. If you're a PC exclusive gamer,
Yep.
I'll never be tier 4 because I'm not buying any of those games for $70.
I probably have bought enough games to be on that list, but not the trophies. And that was another thing I wanted to say. I didn't mention the trophies is another way for them to keep their players in their ecosystem. Just like the rewards program, you have all these trophies, and even if you don't, the more trophies you get, the closer you get to being at this higher tier of support that you may actually never use, or maybe you use it once, and so that's
Those
another
are hardcore.
excuse in them, right? But this is what they say. This is what they're
Like
going to say on
realist.
Twitter. This is going to be the excuses they give, right? But it's all bullshit.
Bro, like people like my cousin who plays Madden, they don't care about trophies. They
Right.
just-
Most people
just
don't
wait
care.
for the next Madden. The
Right, but see-
hardcores, yeah, it's gonna be hard to move them. But see, the gravity of these acquisitions haven't even begun to be felt yet. Elder
Right.
Scrolls hasn't released yet. Starfield hasn't released yet. Redfall hasn't released yet, and skipped PlayStation.
Yeah.
These things are about to become real. Like, we didn't have Deathloop and Ghostwire on our console, but we know they're coming.
It's the same thing that happened to Xbox and PlayStation in the beginning of last generation. Regular people don't know. They play Madden, Call of Duty, and all of those. Just like you're saying, it's true, right?
Peppa
So
Pig.
how did they hear which system to get this generation? It's those people were the hardcores, us, right? But when PlayStation had all that momentum, a big piece of that was the online aspect of it. All those PlayStation fanboys, those ponies that we know so well, they really kicked it up to a new gear the beginning of last generation. They influence what the normies don't know. They influence their buying decisions. Now, a lot of what they said was true. A lot of what they said was untrue. And a lot of it was just they would stretch out the truth. And this is another aspect of that they could, this will be one of their talking points. It's going to be enough. Oh, hell no, because of what you said. It's Call of Duty. And that's just it's like a hurricane, going through Florida and raising everything. It's just not something you could fight against, So,
Mhm. But just like your man, or our guy, E-Rock said, they went out of their way to cripple Sega. They went out of their way to cripple Sega, Nintendo, the entire industry.
Yup, the whole industry. Yup.
Right? And so
They
now,
cut
and
rough
see,
spot.
what Microsoft is right now is what Sony used to be to gaming. Because they didn't have any IP. They didn't have anything. All they did was come through locking down contracts with these games for exclusive deals. And they had the industry. I don't know if it's rightfully so, but I'm going to say rightfully so because discs were better for the consumer.
Yes.
I see Tech looking at it as watch, but discs are cheaper. And basically everybody abandoned them, and Sony knew that. And they bought all these games away from both Nintendo and Sega. Killed Sega, or put the finishing touches on Sega, because Sega did some own damage, inflicted some damage on themselves.
Right.
But Nintendo, that's why Nintendo is Teflon. It's fighting Sony through that era is what made Nintendo what it is, which is why you don't see them crying about Call of Duty. Why? They don't have Call of Duty. They don't even have Madden. Why are their games selling 50 million? Because that's the only thing you can play on the console.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they might have the right plan when it comes to this thing, instead of trying to create all this competition on your platform. You see, Sony makes more money selling other people's things. And that's what they fear.
Don't worry about the other yard. Worry about your yard. First and foremost. Put that effort into that. That's what's most important. That's what pays your bills. They weren't doing it. and their fanboys was just eating that up. You know, it's another comparison. Like, we're not trying to make this a fanboy thing about the Xbox or the PlayStation, but Xbox fans didn't just sit there and accept what was handed to them when Microsoft was messing up. You know, the easiest example is when they tried to double the price of Xbox Live, right? But not just that. There's been many other things that they tried to do. We didn't accept it from them. You know, we made it clear.
Crybabies.
Yeah.
Yeah, some crybabies. Because look, man,
you know,
y'all need to get up off of that internet thing, man, because that didn't even affect us as current customers.
it really didn't. That's right.
For the ponies who didn't know how to choose smooth back in the day. They should have been on Xbox. That way they wouldn't have. And man, who's paying month to month on gold?
We were
Well,
just
you can
talking
get
about
gold
that.
for a year for 35 smackers. Come on, man.
I don't even pay it and haven't paid for years. Same with Live before that.
Look,
with the
man,
same method.
If you month to month and you're gonna pay $10, why not pay $10 for Game Pass? Like, I mean, make the right decision, man. They basically had to corner people into making a wise decision. A corporation had to corner people into making a wise decision. And y'all and y'all crying about Xbox making the price of gold a little bit more. Dude, I told y'all they're just trying to help them make a pimp's decision. I do not feel bad
Game Pass is the pimp
for them
decision.
people.
It just is.
I don't feel bad for them people. I don't feel bad for PlayStation fans who got to pay $550 for their consoles. I don't feel bad because they don't get that tier 1 luxury elite service. I don't care because they made their bed, now they got to sleep in it.
Yep.
Yeah. Tech, you ready to wrap it up, bro? I see you looking at your watch.
Yeah, because we've gone an hour and a half or so, and I can hear people banging around downstairs. So,
oh boy,
yeah, you know that's why I started early too, because I knew we could go.
It was
on.
gonna happen.
So,
kids, man,
good stuff though, as always. Thank you for both showing up, Chatterbox, for joining us.
Good times, man. Good times.
Hey,
Thanks for everybody.
you having them at regular times, you know.
Jay,
I know. But I'm leaving for vacation on Saturday, so I wanted to do something today.
You're still doing them at 7 a.m.
I'll go out there and do a show.
No, I'm just saying, like 7 p.m. I can, yeah. But
while at Legoland, I'll go out there and be like, "What's up, guys?" So good stuff as always, guys. I appreciate it. Chatterbox, thank you. Everybody, thank you, and. I guess that's it, man. Any last words from both of you guys?
Peace.
I welcome the Apple Station.
Peace, guys.
Because this